The thing that we can get mad at is even the mention of homosexuality between first grade and third grade. You should just not do it, okay? You should just never mention it. If someone asks you, like, you know, teacher, why do you have a husband? You're, like, not allowed to comment on it, okay? You just can't do that. You can get fired if you do that. That's the short and sweet of it, okay? And, of course, the way that they did that, the way that they did that, obviously is like, it's very deliberately written in a way where basically they want to make the other side opposing it look crazy. Like, oh, they're grooming the children into being gay. They're grooming the children into being gay. They're grooming the children into being trans. Like, that's basically the fucking take that they wanted to arrive at. Okay? And making it seem as though like there was some kind of sex ed occurring for kindergarteners, and that all matter of sex ed basically is grooming children into LGBT lifestyle, and that that kids could become LGBT by choice and not because they are LGBT, which is the, of course, fundamental difference in opinion between conservatives who just refuse to recognize reality and just people living in the real world who understand that it's not a choice but a matter of your existence. So this is precisely why I make fun of like conservative efforts to cut back on, or conservative efforts to like fucking destroy like gay characters, claiming that like even the mere mention or the showcasing of like homosexuality will lead to people becoming gay. Don't worry if that's the case. If that's how sexuality works, then you should never be worried, considering the reality that there is like for every one gay character, there's like a million straight ones. So they'll just fucking see the straight characters and get back to the straight side. So, the mere mention of sexuality when or sexual education is not fucking grooming kids in the same way that like any kind of showcasing of straight relationships is not grooming kids, okay? That's not how it fucking works. So it's ridiculous. It's bullshit. But of course, let's hear it from the mouth of one of the people. Okay, here it is. After hours of denying his bill singled out gays, Senator Dennis Baxley admitted the so-called "Don't Say Gay" bill was drafted because he was personally concerned so many kids today identify as gay and see themselves as celebrities.
I think this is the crux of the question that everyone's been trying to ask all day. I think I may have a way to get an answer.
This isn't Dennis Baxley. This is Tina Polsky, I think.
This is in response to something you said. There are a lot of mature subjects that should not be discussed in the K through third grade. Senator Diaz mentioned potential suicide of a parent, and how that would be addressed. Of course, that should not be discussed. So why is that not prohibited? Why is drug use not prohibited? The issue here is, why is gender identity and sexual orientation specifically prohibited when there are so many other very difficult, mature subjects that are not exempted in this bill? Senator Baxley, you recognize.
Thank you. The reason, it's an endless list of things that you could list as far as challenges to young people. We are in a trending posture.
For the record, classic conservative tactic, making it seem as though like there is gay propaganda. One, making it seem as though like there is such a thing where like the mere mention of homosexuality will turn a child into a homosexual. Okay, it is a choice. That's wrong. So that's like the core premise of this. Okay, so let's start there. Two, the idea that like gay propaganda as a consequence of the gay agenda is being disseminated in our schools is completely wrong. That's not a real thing. And this bill doesn't even address that. Even if it was a real thing, this bill's not even addressing that. Okay? This bill simply is saying, like, you cannot mention this. K through third grade, you cannot even mention anything about homosexuality at all. Okay? So that's That's number two. Like, and lastly, the ultimate goal for conservatives, and this is like they're basically admitting this, okay? The ultimate goal for conservatives was to get Democrats to push back against this and say, no, you should say gay, you should say gay, you should say gay, so that like to the Normans in the world, okay, out and about that don't pay attention to this stuff, they're going to be like, what the fuck? What's going on? What are the liberals like? They're going crazy. They just want to like say they want to make our kids homosexuals or whatever. Like, what the fuck's happening? Because Normans also don't understand this because it's a reactionary culture. So if you haven't put a lot of thought into this, you think in your mind like, you know, all the videos and all the footage that's going to be cut out of this is a bunch of fucking blue-haired people screaming, no, you should say gay all the time to children. Like, and most people are going to turn around and be like, what the fuck? That's weird. And that is precisely the reason why they did this. And it is relatively successful.
Hassle.
Okay?
Right now, where
It's this. Florida high school walking out chanting.
I still had to watch out today because of the don't say gay.
So like this is sick, right? I mean, this is cool, but like in our eyes this is cool, but in the eyes of like conservatives, reactionaries, people that like don't live or have never really talked about this, they think like this is bullshit. This is crazy.
And this is how it went.
Like conservative voters look at this and go, "Oh, dude, the kids are crazy. They're crazy. They're already been propagandized. They've already been propagandized into believing homosexuality, brother."
The news is here.
Who cares about conservatives though? Motherfucker, they vote. What do you mean? And then they vote for fucking Republican state legislatures who then next time around will fucking vote for even worse bills. What are you talking about? Like, I'm explaining to you exactly how they operate and how they propagandize certain positions. I'm not saying it's right. Clearly it's not. It's fucking disgusting what they're doing. But like, you have to understand.
Thank you for all that
Do you think they'll ever be rational, dude? Lol? No. But what you need to know is, what you need to understand in this situation is like, if you want those motherfuckers in the middle to like truly get your perspective, it's not about dropping this, dropping the gay shit or whatever, but it's to effectively combat it. It's to effectively push back against this misinformation. But the number one thing that the Democratic Party could do is never even have this conversation to begin with. How? Because the reactionary has to react to something. The reactionary reacts to progress. But if there's no economic progress happening at the state legislature level, if there's no economic progress happening wherever Democrats actually hold on to the levers of power, then they have nothing to fucking react to. They have nothing to actually separate themselves from the Democratic Party on. And that's why they focus on wedge issues. Okay? And that's precisely why we get to a point where they're pushing for more and more and more regressive legislation. Okay? So even if you don't care as a Democrat, even if you don't care about like the economic agenda, even if you don't care about saving poor people, if you don't care about fucking improving the material conditions of workers, if you only care about the social issues like trans people and gay people specifically, if you're like, fuck the workers, but also, but only, I want to save only like the rich gay people or whatever, and this kind of stuff pisses me off, which, by the way, I don't even think they give a shit about that either. As long as they're poor and workers, they don't give a fuck about them either. But if that's your case, if that's your point of view, okay, then for the sake of making Republicans focus on anything but new ways of fucking over marginalized people, you have to push for progressive legislation. That's it. Okay? Wedge issues have been around for a very long time. And the only reason why it's around is because they need to make a distinction as to why you should vote for the Republicans instead of the Democrats. And the only way to make that distinction is on social shit like this. Okay? That's how it works. like the kids are all right, and this stuff makes me feel good, right? Obviously, seeing stuff like this makes me feel good. It's great that they're doing this, but once again, it should never even get to this point. And the best way to stop this dead in its track is by giving conservatives like fucking flies to shit or moth to a beam of light. You have to give them something to focus their attention on, to fight back against, okay?
Let's go.
A great question one should always ask is like, why the fuck is Ron DeSantis doing this when there are people fucking dying in Florida because they can't get insulin? Who gives a shit about like whether a third grader is able to ask their teacher who's gay and what that means or not? Huh? Why are our priorities on this? Why? Why are we focusing on this? And that's the unfortunate reality, is that like Democrats don't want to do that. And they don't do that. And they won't do that. Anyway, so we hyper focus on wedge issues over and over again. To be honest, wouldn't you be a little afraid of how a teacher in Florida answers that question? I mean, it doesn't matter. Banning it outright is psychotic, dude. Like, it's just creating a problem when no such problem existed. You think like here's the issue, okay? I refuse to believe in like this idea that you can turn gay, okay? My life would be infinitely easier if I was a homosexual man, okay? If the option presented itself and I could just take a pill and just, become a gay person, it would just be so much easier, okay? 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. It's not an option, unfortunately, okay? So there's that. Everybody's saying, are you serious? No, I'm saying relationship-wise, okay? Not like, getting owned or whatever. I'm a 30-year-old rich guy. Are you guys stupid? Living in West Hollywood. Yes, like in my individual circumstances, yes, it would be much better. I'm not like a fucking 14-year-old kid getting bullied in Alabama. So yes, for me personally, if there was a pill I could take to be gay, it would be easier. That's just the truth, because I literally live in gay Mecca. Okay? Anyway. Yes, I would be a selfish top. Turning gay at this point would probably be fine for you. Being gay your whole life, not easier. Yes, dude. Yes. I'm currently covering a bill that literally makes it harder for young gay kids to recognize their sexuality. Clearly, yes, there are issues. I recognize that. Okay? What the fuck? People are like, wait a minute. I can't believe he said you'd have an easier time as a homosexual man. Like, yeah, no shit, dude. No fucking shit. God damn it, bro. God fucking damn it. It's just lefties. Lefties. It's just a fucking joke, okay? It's a joke. Calm the fuck down, you stupid weirdos, okay? Holy fuck. Not even a real thing. There's no such thing as like gay juice, okay? You can't just like sip on. There's no gay juice I'm sipping on to become, one with the penis and pussy. God damn. Leftists in the chat make me unironically turn into someone who's like, no, maybe Ron DeSantis has some good ideas, okay? Leftists in the chat will be like, you need to describe the moral system that led you to arrive at such a horrifyingly disastrous joke that completely devalues the existence of young homosexuals in areas where the bigotry exists. Yeah, I'm like, nah, you know what? Maybe don't say gay. Yeah, actually, I've decided. Don't say gay. Pretty good. Pretty good legislation. You fucking bitches. Okay. Oh, yeah. You will be hearing me. You will be hearing from me about this. Do you think the why has to do with the success of Youngkin wielding a pointless and non-existent wedge issue like CRT to galvanize reactionary support? Of course, that is precisely what's going on here. This has been around, been around for a while. It's not new. Okay, the wedge issues is not new. It's not a new concept. What is this? You at the you with the leftists? You at the leftists in chat? Yeah. Don't say gay. Yep. That's me, baby.
"7 months, yay."
That's where I'm at now. I've decided. Anyway. Also, Trump calls for Pootie Poo to release dirt on the Biden family right now since he's not exactly a fan of our country during the new interview with Real America's Voice. I love that, dude. What a legend. What a legend. I can't wait for the people who like I can't wait for the people who are like who were saying that I was like a fan and a supporter of Russia and Russia's invasion of Ukraine to turn around and be like, I actually love Donald Trump too now because of all the jokes I've made about Donald Trump's bussy. You know what I mean? That's what we're gonna move on to.
I mean, my son's a psychiatrist, and I said, why is everybody now all about coming out when you're in school? And there really is a dynamic of...
I don't know, maybe because it's a part of their fucking existence, and finally now people aren't like bullying you mercilessly into suicide when you actually do end up coming out. I mean, and that people younger generations are by and large a little bit more tolerant to the LGBT community. That's one reason, I think. Or maybe it's because they're saying homosexuals on the television. They're saying homosexuals sin on the television, and it's making the kids gay. They see that Euphoria. They see that show. I saw that girl looking like Zelda, looking all pretty and such. Unacceptable. We already gave up on miscegenation.
Eldon Lord.
You know, the longer hair makes each individual hair weigh and entangle more, which stresses the hair follicle and makes it easier for the fall, right? Thank you for that update on hair that no one cares about.
Concern of how much of this...
I mean, these guys want to go back to a fucking time when, like, they just had to suck cock in bathrooms secretly, okay? Which, of course, they also do. So that's literally the reason why they're like, they're fine. You know what I mean? And their kids, if they're gay, they're going to be all right to a certain degree. And that's the point of the... You know what? Actually, I realized people like Lindsey Graham, I think,
Scary to be
they like the thrill.
Right now.
They like the thrill of what is it? Cruising. They like the thrill of sucking cock secretly. Like the shame of it all motivates them. So they're like, we need to keep this shit on the low. Okay. We need to keep making sure homosexuality is seen as a sin. What you're talking about? Oh, the Hunter Schafer photo. If Nintendo looks like Zelda Princess, yes, this is precisely what I'm talking about. They literally don't want to take their cruising partners out for dates. They're just cheap fucks. Yeah, that's a part of the other reason, I think. Respectfully. It looks good. All them. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Where was I? Yeah, back to ugly looking people, i.e. Republicans. Okay. So what would be a politically correct answer for being LGBTQ? You'd tell a first or third grader? Like, the funny thing is, it's probably so like irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. Like, it's not a real thing. That's number one. Number one thing is like not. The number one thing is that like teachers aren't going around being like, you should be a homosexual. You should be a homosexual. You should be trans. You should be trans. Like, that's not how it works. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not how it works. The only instance where it could potentially fucking happen, okay, is if a kid asks a question to a teacher between kindergarten and third grade where they're like, you know, why does this kid have two dads? And then the teacher says, oh, because they're gay. Men and men can love one another like men and women can. Like, that's totally normal. So that's basically it. You know what I mean? That's it. That's literally it. There's no situation in which like there is a propaganda operation to like fucking transify the youth. You know what I mean? It's just, that's it. Which is precisely why this shit is like completely fabricated to maximize the outrage.
Are genuine type of experiences, and how many of them are just kids trying on different kinds of things they hear about and different kinds of identities and experimenting. That's what kids do, you know. Maybe they're in this club or they're in that club or they're on.
And that's wrong. He's like, and that's unacceptable. You can't do that.
On all these different identities of life,
1.5 years.
Where they fit
Crazy.
In. And I said, am I crazy or what? All of a sudden, we're having all these issues come up about this topic of their sexuality and gender. And I said,
people must
I
be
understand
trans
why
now.
that's such a big wave right now. And he said,
dude, you guys don't understand. He's just upset at the trenders, okay? He's saying like I love thinking about like hardened Republicans as like mega rad libs, you know what I mean? Like over the top woke scold rad libs on Twitter or some shit. No, these kids, they're chasers.
Good stream.
These kids, they're seeing you know, they're seeing trans women, and then they're thinking, you know, they want it. They're fetishizing and otherizing trans women and becoming chasers. They should actually simply love all women, including trans women, but they're chasing. Kids these days, they're becoming selfish types.
Dad, all the professionals don't agree, but in fact, it's a real trend of change. I just read an article
Haven't
this
watched
week.
a lot
We're
lately,
trying to
but
all
still love
figure
you.
out why this is happening. Some of it is, I'm sure, cultural shift of what's accepted and
Why is this
that kind of
happening?
thing. But I know some of it is just the confusion that kids go. You know, particularly when you get to middle school and high school, there's a lot of whitewater. You don't get it right. You just get them through it. It's a maturation of them growing, and things are happening for them. So my question is simply, are we encouraging this or illuminating it by putting emphasis on it, or are we helping something? And I think
Let's go, Brandon.
75% of people that I see, polled on this bill, they agree with me that there's something wrong with how we're emphasizing this, and that all of a sudden, overnight, they're a celebrity when they felt like they were
16
nobody.
months, B.
And so,
Love you.
Oh my God, dude, the tactics are the same, dude. Oh, a part of me, obviously, and this is because I'm a fucking, dirty, disgusting little breeder cishet, but a part of me is like, I almost,
Slay.
like, there's so much vindication here. I've been saying this to, like, motherfuckers that are gay but transphobic for so long that, like, they are going to move back to gay issues immediately as soon as they're like, all right, we're done. We've already exhausted the trans shit. Like, they're already done. Okay. So now we're just going to move back to the gays and the elves. Okay. The lesbians and the gays, the bis. Like, we're just going to move back to that because that's how regression works. Right. And the same exact arguments that they used towards trans people, they use towards gay people, and they're using it again towards gay people now. Oh, they're doing it for the trend. They're doing it for attention. And it's actually really fucked up. And ultimately, it comes from a place of not accepting it. And it ultimately comes from a place of thinking that, like, it's a choice. And the other part of it is that, like, even if it's a fucking choice, who cares? Which is, another thing that we never really talk about. Like, even if it was literally a choice, it still would not matter. You know what I mean? Okay, who cares? Why do you care? You fucking weirdo. It's not. But even if it was, it's like, why would you care? So, we're back. We're back at this now. We're basically back at this. Everyone wants to be gay trans influencers, sell gay trans merch. Yeah. Yes. He's mad that the kids are queer baiting. Dude, exactly. He's like, these kids, they're not gay. They weren't throwing the brick at Stonewall like I was. They're out here queer baiting. That's right. Homosexuality is not just simply a lifestyle choice that you can put on like a prom dress. You didn't earn it. Them dang kids on TikTok looking all looking good, acting like they actually are into one another. It's fucked up. I hate it. Unacceptable. And it's goddamn problematic. There, I said it. It's toxic and it's problematic.
I don't know how all those pieces part.
But bro, we don't have enough political support for the gays. I mean, come on, Hasan, you are so wrong. What? So wrong. I have info that you don't have. In Sweden, we have 50-year-old gays who haven't joined the party. We are a culture of men. Wait, what? Dude, I don't know what you're talking about, but like, how about you shut the fuck up, okay? I don't know what you're saying, but if you're Swedish, here's what you can do about Florida politics, okay? This. How about that? I'm done with the fucking, like, I don't care. Either give me feedback on like what's going on in Sweden and how interesting it is and unique it is, or just do this. Try this, okay? Because you're doing a lot of this, but you should be doing a lot of this. Okay.
Play, but I know parents are very concerned about the departure from the core belief systems and values so I think they have a seat at the table. And I think telling them they don't have a seat at the table in this decision and this process with kids is a very, very big mistake.
Wait, what? Letting kids have... Wait.
Values so I think they have a seat at the table, and I think telling them they don't have a seat at the table in this decision and this process with kids.
Dude, letting parents have a seat at the table in the decision-making process in schooling is one of the most idiotic fucking ideas that you could put forward. Have you seen parents? Do you know how fucking stupid our parents are? Like, no disrespect. Like, I love my parents. I think they're brilliant. That's different, you know, but like, but I've seen other people's parents at least. I mean, look, mine are fucking, they're, you know, college professors. So it was a little bit different. I'm the idiot in my family. They're a little bit smarter. But like, I've seen other people's parents, dude. I don't think they should have a say in what the fuck goes on at school. It's like they don't understand chemistry. Do you want them to dictate that? Why are we teaching children chemistry? I saw a television show where a chemist made methamphetamine. That's right. Is that what you want? You want our children to make bathtub meth? After learning chemistry in our classrooms? Get the fuck out of here.
Is a very, very big mistake.
Senator Polsky, how about one more? I don't think from too much tradition here about. I know, but he just said some really important things. So basically what I heard you say, just to confirm, that there seems.
Oh my God. Now that I said that, it's probably what's going to happen. Like, I can't wait for the fucking I mean, they do that for CRT already, like social sciences. They want to have a say on social sciences and like how history is educated and taught in schools. It's like, come the fuck on, dude. You're a dumbass, dude. You need CRT. Oh, fuck. Now they're going to do it for chemistry and shit. They're going to be like, we need to halt the STEM. We need to stop these sciences from being taught to our children. Okay? Fucking bullshit.
Seems to be a big uptick in the number of children who are coming out as gay or experimenting, and therefore we need to not discuss it in the younger grades. Is that correct? Senator Baxter, you recognize.
Those are the reminiscing of a father and a grandfather trying to figure out what makes kids.
Oh, God. They're all doing this, like, bitch shit, dude. They're such libtards, bro. Everyone does this thing now where it's like, it's my lived experience, Sweaty. Shut your fucking bald ass up, dude. Shut the fuck up, you bitch. I don't give a fuck what your lived experience is, unless you're talking about sucking dick in a bathroom because you were terrified that someone was going to find out that you're a homosexual, okay? I don't give a fuck. What do you mean your lived experience? What kind of fucking lived experience do you have as a grandpa? God damn, dude. Holy shit. It just makes me so mad where people are like, actually, I'm simply talking about this from my lived experience. Sweaty, you're doing a Bodies in Spaces right now. How about you see yourself out of the conversation that we're having about old, bigoted, racist fucks who think that children should not learn about being gay. That's my lived experience in this situation. That's simply what I'm doing. I'm giving my lived experience.
And that is part of what.
Like, this is no different than the fucking DSA meeting, the clapping and the fucking point of privilege shit that you see at a DSA meeting. Now Republicans do it too, but they do it for the bigotry, which is pretty funny. Like, the DSA meeting video that immediately comes to mind of people being like, point of privilege, there's some people with autism here, and like, they're getting fucking, I don't know, really excited when you clap, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're doing that, but for bigotry. They're like, point of privilege here, sir, I would like to express my bigotry and my racism in this situation.
I can feel the rod already.
What the fuck, dude? What is happening? Oh, fuck.
Why I'm attracted to this bill is I don't want to be
Sussy
putting
backer.
we know there's social inputs into how people act and what they decide to do. So, yeah, that's part of our concern for the well-being of our children.
The autism thing is legit, though. Yeah, okay, dude. I know. Jesus Christ. Please don't do this right now. Okay? We've talked about this before. Some spaces are not going to be as accommodating as you would wish it, okay? That's just it. That's just it. It's not always going to happen. Not always going to be that way. I'm sorry. Especially if it means, maximizing efficiency. Garfield creator Jim Davis responds to being asked about the Will Smith slap. I don't really keep up with the Oscars. I mainly just make Garfield comic strips. Awesome. I can't tell if this is a joke or not, but it's great.
8 months of communism pog.
If it's a very small venue, why do you care if everyone there wants to accommodate, though? Are you saying we purposely do not appear cringe or whatever? Stop. We're not doing this. I'm not going to debate autistic chatters right now. It's not happening, okay? Not the, let's have a conversation about, how you're being selfish. You're being selfish. Don't do it. Don't center yourself in this conversation. Don't do it. You're doing it. Trying to center yourself. No centering. Did you just say autistic as a joke? No, I did not. There was no joking in that reference to autism. Okay, let's move on. But you're doing it. You're now jumping onto it. Okay. So yeah, the don't say gay bill, fucking bullshit, ridiculous, but also incredibly effective propaganda. So here we are. I know there are 30K people in the chat, but when you go live, it's only me and you. Oh yeah, 100%. So let's hear it.
Their main, quote, goal as a company is now to teach kindergartens in Florida that they can, in fact, change their gender just by wishing it so. It makes you wonder if kids in Florida can consent to chemical castration with no parental involvement. If that can be true, what exactly can't they consent to once we set that standard? Disney.
What the fuck, Tucker? Oh my God, I can't believe Tucker Carlson came out for in support of trans rights only because he thinks like that means he can do pedophilia. That's weird. Classic libertarian brain at work here. He thinks that is how that works, but it doesn't. Unfortunately for Tucker, because one is not damaging to the child. As a matter of fact, it's harm reduction for a child, specifically a trans child, if they're able to get early on, if they're able to get hormone blockers, puberty blockers. The other, on the other hand, is just incredibly damaging. Pedophilia to the child is to the child's development. So sorry, Tucker, it's not going to happen like that. Okay. Also, no such thing, no such castration, no such chemical castration occurs. What a deeply, deeply disgusting way of describing a process that does not occur at all. Nice try, Tucker. You couldn't let that slide, you fucking pedophile piece of shit, you libertarian motherfucker.
Disney didn't say, but maybe there's another agenda here. Nor did they explain their fixation on the sexuality of children. But it's worth pointing out that
fun fact, once again, Tucker Carlson has quite literally defended pedophiles in the past. White supremacist pedophiles, of course, and have said it's not a big deal when white people do it. What's going on? This used to be a country that stood for something, where white people were allowed to marry children. Obviously not the Pakistani or any of the other brown countries that want to do similar practices. When it's happening there, it's barbaric. But when it's happening here in the imperial core, conducted by civilized, Christian, white people, well, then that's completely acceptable. But America wants you to stop that. Our founding fathers also engaged in these acts at a time when these acts were considered appropriate and actually celebrated. What's going on? Why isn't Tucker's mouth moving? I'm confused. Yeah, I'm doing a... For the record, the Tucker Carlson thing I'm talking about is 100% true. Who was the fucking guy? He went to jail. He defended Warren Jeffs.
At HasanAbi gifted sub again. Let's go.
Wait, let me see. Here it is.
Here, this is not a mere cultural difference. No 13-year-old child can meaningfully consent to marry. In the United States,
For the record, I agree. I agree with that.
if an adult has sex with a middle schooler, we call it rape. But when government
So he said this, and then he turned around and he said, when defending Warren Jeffs, he literally said, here, hold on, let's play this out.
bureaucrats grant immigration petitions, they don't consider that. They consider only whether the marriage would be legal in the person's home country. Pakistan has a very different definition of marriage and of rape than the West does. Many Americans may not even understand how different. By sanctioning Amin's forced marriage at the age of 13, America became an accomplice to sexual slavery.
I mean, other than going out to bat for Roy Moore, Tucker Carlson also famously said this. Sorry for how loud it is.
He's not in prison for that. Warren Jeffs didn't marry underage girls.
No, he's in prison for facilitation of child rape.
Whatever the hell that means.
That means
he's in prison. He's in prison because he's weird and unpopular, and he has a different lifestyle that other people find creepy.
No, he's an
Wow. Cult leader, white supremacist cult leader, who conducted multiple child marriages. That's cool. I covered this a long time ago, back when some of you might have even had a different point of view on Tucker Carlson. You might have even been a fan of Tucker Carlson. So let me bring you back to some of the old HasanAbi hits. Okay? By the way, he also personally did marry underage girls as well, but he also married them in his own cult to other adults. But here it is. I mean, here's Tucker Carlson quite literally defending it. Hasan, you're being lifestylist. Yeah, I am. As someone who, morally lucked into his positions around the, I guess I was morally lucky for a lot longer than a lot of the other people that criticize me. But, this is some vintage Tucker right here.
Other people find creepy.
No, he's an accessory to the rape of children. That is a felony, and a serious one at that.
What do you mean an accessory? He's got some weird religious cult where he thinks it's okay to, marry underage girls, but he didn't do it. Why wouldn't the guy who actually
did it,
who had sex with an underage girl, he should be the one who's doing life? The rapist in this case has made a lifelong commitment.
Doesn't end there. He was like, not enough. Gonna defend the more.
To live and take care of the person. So it is a little different. I mean, let's be honest about it. He's not accused of touching anybody.
Bro, this is literally like, Tucker Carlson right here. You know what Tucker Carlson's doing right here? He's doing shit that debate lords love doing on the internet. Where he's debate lording the beauties of child marriage. Okay, that's what he's doing right here. Why? Because it's a white person doing it. That's precisely why. Because in Tucker Carlson's world, he 1,000,000% thinks it's acceptable. It's 1,000,000% acceptable if white people do it. Okay, that's it.
Accused of facilitating a marriage between a 16-year-old girl and a 27-year-old man. That's
also not true. Also not true. That wasn't 16 and 27.
The accusation. That's what they're calling felony rape.
But in our
That's
state,
bullshit. I'm sorry. Now, this guy may be a total creep. Maybe it's not rapist. I'm just telling you that arranging a marriage between a 16-year-old and a 27-year-old is not the same as pulling a stranger off the street and raping her. That's bullshit.
But
you know what, in my brief experience, what gets women going is arguing with them.
Really?
Okay, so the rest of it is just like other misogynistic shit. But so remember, that's Tucker Carlson's position. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about what is he saying? Chemical castration.
4 Disney employees were just busted in a major human trafficking sting, including one employee who allegedly sent sexually explicit text to a detective posing as a 14-year-old.
Wait, what?
Their main, quote, goal as a company is now to teach kindergartens in Florida that they can, in fact...
Dude, the irony here is that, like, he is always, while maintaining the position that I just showed you, he then also will literally fucking say, like, random employees are basically, like, responsible for, like, everything that the company is doing. I don't even know who the fucking employees are. I never know who these, like, I never know what the details of stories like this are, and I'm certainly not going to find out from watching Tucker Carlson because he is here to present a perspective, and that perspective is that basically having a conversation even about like the existence of LGBT members in society is the same as grooming kids to do sex trafficking. Like that's literally what his argument is here. Let's make no mistake. That's precisely what he's trying to say, and that is also deeply homophobic. It's a super old school homophobic take too, to be like, oh yeah, every gay person is like grooming children by being gay around children. That's like you're grooming them. It's just super old school, super old school fucking homophobic bullshit. Let's hear the whole clip now. Actually, let's watch the whole one.
Groups like the HRC have decided to push this propaganda as hard as they possibly can. And they don't care what you think because it's not about democracy. It's not about...
Yeah, they've just replaced gay with trans, and some dumb motherfuckers, specifically in the gay community, okay, specifically the L's and the G's, unironically jumped on that shit so quick, it was fucking mind-boggling. I'm like, dude, are you stupid? Like, this is literally what they said about you, like, 10 years ago, you dumb fuck. Why are you repeating the same idiotic fucking propaganda? Like, you stupid bitch.
What parents want.
Now, obviously, that's not, like, by and large the entirety of the LGBT community or anything like that, obviously, but, like, wild that some did jump on that. Specifically, I'm looking at you, oi bruvs, okay? Goddamn, like, so much of the fucking turf shit directly comes out of that goddamn island. What the fuck is going on, dude? The LGB. Ooh, the LGB, bruv. No T's here. LGB.
Disney, for example, is a major donor to the HRC and has been pretty explicit about this point. Quote, Florida's HB 1557, also known as the Don't Say Gay bill, should never have passed and should never have been signed into law. Disney said in an official statement. This is the company you also hand your kids over to. Woohoo, not creepy. Quote, our goal as a company is for this law to be repealed by the legislature or struck down in the courts. So let's just think about this for a minute. Here you have a law passed in a democratically elected state legislature, signed by a democratically elected governor, supported by the majority of Florida voters, but it must be struck down because the oligarchs at the mouse company don't like it. Oh. So shouldn't you get back to making kids' movies propagandizing for China? Shouldn't you get back to wrecking the state of Florida with your pollutants, you environmental criminals? Yeah, well, they've got other business. And their main, quote, goal as a...
Like, I'm all in favor of shitting on Disney, by the way. It's awesome when, you know, the powerhouse of Disney that has dominated, like, California and Florida politics for so many fucking years, that is almost single-handedly responsible for the most fucked up patent laws that we have, internationally even. It's awesome to shit on Disney. But you found the one instance where, like, Disney's not in the wrong and is, as a matter of fact, literally fucking... doing it for just pandering reasons, and you're just shitting on that. It's crazy. It's crazy to me.
Company is now to teach kindergartens in Florida that they can, in fact, change their gender just by wishing it so. It makes you wonder if kids in Florida can consent to chemical castration with no parental involvement. If that can be true, what exactly can't they consent to once we set that standard? Disney didn't say. But maybe there's another agenda here. Nor did they explain their fixation.
By the way, the irony, of course, is that Disney directly, as a consequence of being based in Florida, has literally funded every politician to a certain degree has funded every politician that has written that law, okay? Straight up. There is no way that Disney did not beef up the Republican Party's defenses here. They literally fund both sides, okay? They do. So that's what every gigantic mega corporation does. They completely dominate Florida. So kind of weird that now they're coming out and being like, "Oh man, this is really fucked up. Ooh, don't say gay bill. What? That's crazy. We say gay here."
On the sexuality of children. But it's worth pointing out that 4 Disney employees were just busted in a major human trafficking sting, including one employee who allegedly sent sexually explicit text to a detective posing as a 14-year-old. That bust occurred, as you may have guessed by now, in the state of Florida. Some of the most powerful...
I mean, I do get... that's... The least shocking thing is that a pedophile was busted in Florida. Let's be real, okay? I mean, that's kind of what the state is there for. It's for like cryptocurrency and pedophilia often goes hand in hand, you know? Conservatives on Twitter has weaponized online anti-pedophilic panic to latch on to knowing about gay and trans people as grooming somehow. Yeah. Yeah, it's really fucked up. So who in the Biden White House thought the child porn defending judge was a good choice?
Love you, Hasan.
Maybe you should ask Matt Walsh. The pedophile scandal in the Catholic Church is not a pedophile scandal. The vast majority of victims are post-pubescent teens. Oh my God, he did actually, it's a phebophilia argument. And young men, the real problem in the church that everyone sees and few will say out loud, gay priests. Jesus Christ, dude. He ended up defending the gay priests, though, in a weird way, I guess. The gay pedophile priests, of course. So even then, he was like, actually, it's a phebophilia, so it's not pedophilia technically. Very weird. Yeah, my man said, I will tolerate pedophilia, but I draw the line at homosexuality, which is wild. Like, can you mathematically arrive at the worst take in this situation? Well, Matt Walsh can. He ended up, 1, defending pedophiles, and then 2, being like, and then 2, turn the fucking anger towards homosexuality. Awesome. That's awesome. That is an incredible way to fucking arrive at this conclusion. Hey, if you like this video, please subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any future videos.